All right, guys, Adam McKola and Stephen Howson here for Full-Time Devils. We've been sent some questions from the Palace fans, and we're going to answer them right now.
Zlatan. Honestly, is this even really a question? Lukaku has absolutely knocked it out of the park. There is no other answer. It's Lukaku or do one.
I agree with that. It definitely is Lukaku, but honourable mention to Matic, who has come in, provided balance to our midfield, and allowed the likes of Lukaku, Rashford, Marshall, etc. to flourish. So I think we made some very good signings.
How good's Lukaku, though?
But yeah, Lukaku is number one.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Goals, goals, goals. I think it's obvious that he's got the potential, so I'm not going to ask you that. I'll remix their question a little bit. Will he? So I want a prediction rather than has he got the potential? Because we all know he's got the potential, right?
Undoubtedly got the potential. He's had the potential for a long time. That's why he's signed for Manchester United. That's why he cost us 75, 80 million. Because he is, it's looking like a bargain at the end of this window, isn't it? The thing is, it's hard to make a prediction. I hate nailing my colours to the mast on things that you've got no control over. But yes, I definitely think Lukaku could easily be the number 9. And he's easily good. Should I say this? I can't say if he's going to stay because you don't know what circumstances are going to change. But I can say he has got the ability to be our number 9 that absolutely smashes goals and maybe even sets records. I'm not saying club records, but he might.
Could he get close to Rooney's record? He's at 24 now. He's already got 8 goals.
He's got 243 to go or something like that.
245.
All right. No, I don't think so.
That's 10 seasons at 25 a season.
You need to come as a teenager to have any chance. I think Marcus Rashford, if he gets to that sort of level of consistency, might, if he stays for a long time. But yeah, the original question, is Lukaku good enough to be Manchester United's number 9 for a long time? Yes, he's young enough to be our number 9 for a long time. We've also got a lot of his friends in the team. By the time I'm hearing amazing things about our team spirit at the moment, about all the players that are staying together to do extra training. Lukaku's part of that, Pogba's part of that, you got Lingard, you got Marshall, all of these lads out. That's going to be an unshakable team spirit. So yes, while all his mates are here, while it's Paul Pogba FC, absolutely.
Is a great question for us because we are chief members of the Timothy Fosu-Mensah fan club.
I'm driving the bandwagon, mate. I'm at the front with a bus with a cap.
And I'm ringing the bell. Any chance United will give us him on a permanent? I'm going to say no.
I've been saying this lad's got to play football for nearly 2 years. He is Brian Robson-esque, and I don't say that lightly. Honestly, I'm sitting in, surrounded by some absolute legends of the game here. Maradona, Pirlo, Scholes. Brian Robson's in that category. I think there is a potential that Timothy Fosu-Mensah, given the right game time, can reach that level of the game. And I understand that sounds ridiculous at 19 years of age, a guy that's got a dozen Premier League appearances. That is the faith that I have in him. Do I see him being allowed to go to Palace on a permanent deal? I will flip a table if that happens. He has got to come back to Manchester United. And I don't even think centre-half is his best position. I think that holding midfielder, that number 6 role, that combative sort of all-action midfielder, that's where you get the best Fosu-Mensah. You get a good Fosu-Mensah in defence, but when you bring him on the ball and allow him to drive that ball forward from midfield, that's when you get a real player. I'm flipping a table if he goes on a permanent deal anywhere.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. We riot if Fosu leaves. And I think, you mentioned those great players, and I remember watching Fosu about 2-3 years ago when we were calling for Van Gaal to give him his debut in the first team, and you could just tell. It's like watching Pogba in the reserves. You could tell he was better than everybody else, and the same can be said about Timothy Fosu-Mensah. And it's like he's in the reserves again, because at Palace you can tell he's better than everybody else as well.
I think Palace are in a bad way at the moment because their 2 best players are 2 loan signings, and that's bad for them. They've got Fosu-Mensah and they've got Loftus-Cheek as their best players at the moment, and I think that's where they're really going to fall down. It doesn't matter whether De Boer is in charge or whether Hodgson's in charge. The 11 that they're putting out isn't good enough, and that is their problem. And against United, without Fosu-Mensah and without Benteke and with Roy Hodgson, this is a guy that started managing in the 70s. What revolutionary tactics is he going to bring to the table? Unbelievable that they got. If they spoke and walked the walk, didn't they, in the summer by getting De Boer and saying, we're going to invest in the future, we're going to invest in this guy, transforming this club. Roy Hodgson's got memories of falling off his bike in black and white. That's how old Roy Hodgson is. But you got De Boer, you tell De Boer that he's going to come and revolutionise the club, and then you get rid of him after 5 games. They're a rudderless ship at the moment. United have got to take advantage.
I'm saying no. We've got a lot of injuries anyway, so
No, I'm saying it will. It will, undoubtedly. I don't expect us to put the same sort of numbers that City did last week because we've got to go to Moscow and we've got to play a game in between. But I still think we're good enough to beat this team.
I think it's likely we could see very different 11s from CSK Moscow and Palace, which is why I say no.
Who though?
Because if Valencia comes back, we don't know the length of their injuries. If they come back, they're going to come back into the team.
You might say a different defence. I don't think you'll see a different 11.
Yeah, not a full 11, but maybe about 5-6 changes. Another 4-0. Sorry, Palace fans, you must hate me.
I think 2-0. I think we're going to have a bit of rustiness from Moscow. I also think that we can't really predict what Palace are going to come and play, because if Roy Hodgson's got anything about him, and I hope that to be a top-flight football manager, he has got something about him, then he's going to spend all week on a system to combat United's particular style of play. All week. We've not had all week to prepare for them. That's huge, but tactics win games in football, and if Roy Hodgson's able to implement a tactical plan, they can keep us quiet. And I don't think they can beat us, but they can keep us quiet, restrict our chances. I still think we're good enough to beat them 2-0, but don't expect 4-5-0, and not this weekend, I don't think.
I do. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for having us, and see you Saturday.